morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. I'm Mubina Kabasi, and we do have the markets showing in decent signs of gains. We are above 11,400. No complaints over there. The Sensex 2 logging in triple-digit gains, and the broader markets are moving absolutely in tandem with the benchmarks. Very steady gains seen on the Nifty, and this time around we are seeing a lot of action come by once again in the PSU banking space, which certainly is one of the top Nifty gainers. And there are other banking names as well, like for example Kotak, IndusInd in particular has continued that gaining momentum. SBI as well from the banking space is doing very well, along with an ICICI Bank. And then we have Power Grid, which is finally snapping that continuous losing momentum. Z Entertainment continuing the gains. In fact, it's lifting the entire media basket today higher in trade. The OMCs as well, HPCL, IOC and BPCL. And then we have the utility stocks. So along with Power Grid in the PSU space, we have GAIL and NTPC too that are gaining very smartly. And finally, some green seen on the screen in an HCL Tech, which has been languishing for some time in trade. And even Tech Mahindra and Infosys are gaining very, very smartly. Among the losers, this is the metal space that's really not participating in the rally. So Coal India, Vedanta, Hindalco, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, all these names are in the red. That practically puts all the metal constituents in the Nifty in the red. We have Bharti HL2 that's losing significantly, though mind you, it's come off a tad bit from the day's low. So that's of course what the market currently is looking like. But of course this show is all about the big movers and shakers in trade today, and we have with us a team of research analysts as well as technical experts to take us through the big buzzer. So we have Soumya Sharma, Siddharth Bhamre joining in, and on the technical, Swati Hodkar of Nirmal Bang joins in today, Kunal Bothra as well as always. Thanks to all of you for joining in. And let's kickstart the show with an index move, and that is the Nifty Bank. It's the fifth straight day that we are seeing green on the screen. Great going for the Nifty Bank. Do remember, it has been perched at record high levels, and as we speak now, it's 29,300 for the benchmark. 11 out of 12 constituents are in the green, and the PSU banking space certainly is causing this index to power ahead today in trade. The PSU banking index is in fact one of the top sectoral gainers in trade today. The index is gaining in excess of about 2% the last time I checked. Okay, now let's talk about MCX. You have a buy here, from a shorter term perspective. What's the reason? Yes,
Mubina, most of the mid-cap stocks are, showing signs of breakout one by one. Whether it's a leading effect, or many of the indicators, showing, some robust price actions as well. So I believe MCX is one of them. The stock is staging a swing breakout on the daily charts, and indicators also on the verge of a strong breakout. I believe MCX could rise till 825, keep a stop loss of 770 and look to go long over here.
All right, so optimistic outlook on MCX. Swati, Kotak today is in great momentum, just like the rest of the banking stocks. What would be your view?
Yeah, definitely today the Kotak Bank has given a very good rally. Today it's up by almost 6.5%. If we look on a weekly chart, the stock has given a breakout of a pennant pattern, which indicates a very bullish sign on a technical perspective. So definitely one can take a long positions at the current levels. On a downside, it has a very good support at 1270 odd levels. I believe this rally and this breakout is likely to continue its rally on the up to 1370 to 1400 odd levels. So definitely one can take a long positions at the current levels. Stop loss will be a 1270. Target will be a 1370 and 1420 on upside.
All right, so Kotak Bank is high by 3.9%. Soumya, Reliance Industries news over there?
Yes, in fact, Brookfield is buying Reliance Industries gas pipeline for an approximate value of 13,000 crore rupees. Well, this is the first time a private pipeline in India is being monetized. And if reports are to be believed, Brookfield is also buying Reliance Jio's telecom tower assets in a similarly structured transaction that could value the portfolio at $7 to $8 million.
Okay, Reliance Industries for now is gaining about 0.7%. So that we are finally seeing some momentum in these technology stocks today. Infosys is gaining.
Yeah, and in fact TCS is gaining more, 1.64%. But why Infosys? Because we are not seeing any major change in futures open interest. Mubina, oscillators are turning from oversold zone. Stock had corrected substantially. So yes, because of that, stock is seeing some upside. But you have to wait and watch, see whether is there any form of short covering which is taking place. As of now, it's not happening. So why I am talking about the stock is because our technical experts are quite optimistic, and some of them were talking about moving above 713 can lead to further upside. Now stock is already above 713, So watch out for this name.
All right, so that's Infosys for you. Siddharth's flagging off some interesting levels. Kunal, SIAT, you know, tire stocks yesterday, day before yesterday, were just buzzing a little on news about rubber. What is your observation today?
So yeah, I think even SIAT is staging a very interesting breakout. I think it's going through a rounding bottom pattern on the daily charts. 1150, 1152 on spot levels is the breakout point for SIAT. It's been hovering around those levels, but I believe that today is a day where you see a clean breakout happening for the stock, and if this is a breakout which should sustain, then the stock should climb back to almost levels of 1250 to 1275. So it could be an up move of almost 6 to 7% from current levels as well for SIAT. Would suggest a buy with a stop loss at 1135.
All right. Keeping it with the banking space, take a look at RBL Bank. Yesterday we had seen some decent gains come by in that private banking name, and today as well that seems to be continuing. We have Citi, which has maintained a neutral stance with a target at 670 rupees. They do say that this bank is well placed to scale up. However, the reason why they have the neutral stance, okay, it's RBL, not KRBL. That stock price should just correct for you in a bit. But yeah, the reason why they do have a neutral stance is because they see low visibility of ROA expansion. Nevertheless, the stock price certainly is gaining very smartly today in trade. Swati, Gujarat Gas today seeing some pricing action.
Yeah, Bumbina, from the last 7 to 8 trading session, we have seen a very good rally from this particular counters from almost 130 to 156 odd levels. As of now, we are facing a selling pressures at 156 level, and the selling pressure is likely to be intensify and may bring a stock towards at least 147, 145 levels. So those who are having any long positions, they can hold on, but maintain the strict stop loss of a 147. Upside, it's facing a very cluster resistance of 156, 158. Any movement, any breakout of the same levels only will take us stocks towards 164, 165 level. At the current levels, my view is cautious. Anyone having a long positions can hold on with a stop loss of a 147.
Okay, so Swati is cautious on Gujarat Gas. Soumya, but in the flip side, we have Indocount, which has been powering ahead. I think March has been a lucky month for this one.
Yes, the stock has been gaining for continuously 9th session. Well, this is the 9th straight day wherein the stock is gaining, and it's gained over more than 80% in this period. And in fact, the traded volumes are also strong. The stock is currently trading above all key DMAs and is up by 1.4% today in session.
All right. Siddharth, today the metal stocks are taking a back seat, Coal India among them.
Well, Coal India is moving, on the downside. We are seeing some formation of positions, but I don't want to say that these are short positions, Mobina, because look at Coal India. It showed a very strong bounce back from those 200 odd levels or so, and then we are seeing consolidation within 10 points, 235 on the lower side and 245 on the higher side. And now it is consolidating in this range. So yes, if it's down from 245 to 240 and you see open interest, one would easily say, okay, these are short positions. But I think that's not a right way to look at it. It is consolidating, and my understanding says that this is accumulation which is happening in that consolidation, and if stock moves above 245, then you can see substantial upside.
And of course, in other news, this one continues to be a great dividend payer. It has in fact just yesterday declared its second interim dividend for the fiscal 19 at 5.85 per share. All right, well, Kunal, DCB Bank, I think banking stocks are going to dominate our movers and shakers list today.
Absolutely. I think it's a risk-on mode for the markets. We've seen many banking stocks, private sector banks, especially the large cap ones, taking the charge in the last couple of days and last couple of weeks. But I believe even DCB Bank is now staging a breakout. So it's almost very close to its multi-month highs. I think the lifetime high for DCB Bank is around 213, 214 levels, and coming very close to that breakout. But I believe that this momentum should sustain, and the stock could be poised for a new high. 225 should be an immediate target in the near term for DCB Bank, and stop loss could be kept at 195.
All right, moving on, ICRA is a stock that's buzzing very smartly today in trade, and there was a bulk deal that took place. Small cap World Fund has actually sold about 2.3 lakh shares in this one, but it's Reliance Mutual Fund that has actually picked up a stake in this company at 2,877 rupees per share. So we are seeing some momentum come by in the rating agency company. Swati, India Cements today, I think it's taking a bit of a backseat in trade.
Yeah, correctly, Mubina. As of now, it's facing a very strong resistance of its 200-day moving average, which comes to at 100 odd levels. We have seen a very good rally from 75 levels to 105. but at the current level we are hitting a selling pressure or say the profit booking. So my view is cautious at the current level. We might see some downside in this particular counter, at least up to 96 to 95 odd levels. So avoid any long positions at the current level. Long can be built up only above 100 odd levels, and if it's giving a breakout of that level, then 108, 110 is the likely target. So at the current level my view is cautious. Just avoid long positions as long as it trades below 100 rupees.
Okay, resistance seen at the 200 DMA level. Soumya, institutional interest in Laurus Labs.
Yes, in fact, Amansa Holdings has further acquired 3.1% stake in the company. Well, they've acquired 33 lakh shares, approximately 33 lakh shares via block deal. Well, the sellers included Phil Capital Management, who sold 62.8 lakh shares at the price of 351 per share.
Okay, and very quickly before we take that break, Siddharth, Canara Bank.
Well, Can Bank has been doing pretty well, forming long positions, and very few PSU names doing well, Mubina, but also adding long positions. So Can Bank moving higher. If you look at volumes in cash market, they're also pretty fine, and stock is doing pretty well.
Very short break, but we'll continue with the countdown of movers and shakers when we return. But of course, here's a reminder, if you're one of those marketing enthusiasts who are curious about the changing relationships between cultures and brands, then Star Flow, the Change Festival, is where you need to head to this weekend. It's curated and organized by the Times of India, and it is the country's first two-day marketing conclave and festival where the finest minds in the business will come together to discuss the future of marketing and help you equip yourself with the next big change in marketing. Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's continue with the countdown of the big movers and shakers. Kunal, today media space is really buzzing. You're flagging off Sun TV?
Yes, Mubina, if you remember very clearly, the 3 weeks back when the markets were a bit dodgy, Sun TV was one of the few names on the large cap side which managed to show some strong price action. From 486, 487 lows, the stock climbed up till 550, 560 in a matter of couple of weeks, and then it remained sideways. Now I believe that the sideways range is getting over for Sun TV. It's now nearing a breakout. So if this breakout sustains, which is I think around the 630 on spot levels mark, then you could see the stock rallying till almost 200-day moving average, which is 675, 680. So Sun TV could be a interesting bet from a current market perspective. Above 630, I believe the stock could rally till almost 680.
All right, well, here's a drug approval for Glenmark, which is creating some buzz in the stock price. It has received the US FDA nod for clindamycin and benzoyl peroxide, which is essentially a generic version of the benzaclin gel of Valiant. Now, the 12-month period ending Jan 2019 sales data indicates an annual sales achieved of approximately $99.4 million. So a medium-sized drug, and stock price, however, is buzzing today in trade. Swati, CG Power, we've seen a lot of pricing action come by in trade for this one. Today, it's gaining very smartly.
Yeah, as of now the momentum is really good. This counter is just rallying from the last almost a month at such from 34-35 odd levels. I believe this pullback rally is likely to be continued towards 46-47 as the stock is just trading in the formations of a higher top and higher bottom, which gives the indications of a positive momentum on the upside. So those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on for immediate target of a 46-47. Downside, the cluster support is supports rise at the 41 level. So one can hold with a stop loss of a 41 for immediate target of a 46-47 levels on the upside.
Okay, Soumya, CCK Prestige, CLSA is downgrading that stock.
Yes, the CLSA has downgraded the stock from buy to sell with a target price of 9,000 per share. Well, they say that valuations leave little room for incremental stock updates, and this downgrade of stock is on back of sharp stock run-up.
All right, so that stock is reacting certainly down 2.3%. Siddharth, why are you flagging off L&T Finance?
Moving above or challenging its resistance and 200 DMA, which is around that 148 odd levels, Movina. And after 2 days of softness, again we are seeing a buying push on decent volume. And needless to mention that we are seeing formation of long positions. That's the reason I'm highlighting this stock.
Okay, so 2.5% higher for L&T Finance. And Kunal, Bank of Baroda, like I said, PSU banks today are the biggest gainers.
Last 3 weeks have been particularly very good for PSU banks because they've been down and out before that. Many of the stocks were at multi-year lows, but now this is a very strong comeback, and Bank of Baroda in the last 3 weeks of this comeback has managed to hit today its 200-day moving average. It still needs a confirmation of a close above those averages, but nevertheless, I think it just about shows the strength amongst the public sector banks. Bank of Baroda, I believe, could be a good buy above those 120 levels for a target of 130 approximately, and stop loss at 140.
All right. Well, moving on, the other big mover in the banking space is Bank of India. ICRA, remember, has actually revised its outlook on almost 6 PSU banks, and that may be a reason why we are seeing that space bust today. Now, for Bank of India, they're revising the outlook from negative to stable, as they are seeing reduced asset quality pressures as well as improving solvency levels that would assist Bank of India from year on, and hence that stock is higher by about 1.5%. Again, from the media space, Swati, Zee Entertainment, big mover.
Yeah, definitely. If we took on a larger degree, say on the weekly charts, the line chart indicates that the stock is in the formations of the inverse head and shoulder pattern, and as of now, it currently just forming the right shoulder of the pattern, whereas the neckline lies at the 476 odd levels. So any movement or any breakout of a 476 will definitely take a counter towards 510, 520 level. So I believe this is an interesting bet to buy, but only above 476 odd levels. Upside, downside, the support will be lies at a 460, 450 odd levels for the upside target of a 510 levels.
Okay, well, that's Zee Entertainment for you. Soumya, IndusInd Bank, it has been rallying for some time. What does CLSA have to say?
Well, CLSA is maintaining a buy stance on the stock with a target price of 2,120 per share. Well, they have in fact upped the target from 1,910 to 2,120 per share. They say that the Bharat Financial merger synergies to lift the earnings and returns, and they see operational efficiencies and deposit opportunity for Bharat Financial. It remains a top pick in the sector. So CLSA maintaining buy stance with a target price of 2,120.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have on this edition of Market Fatafat. So thanks to all of you, Swati, to you as well for joining in with your technical strategies. We'll wrap it up. Coming up next to take the market action forward is Pankaj and Nayanthara on Markets at Noon.